there's so much of what Apple does that I don't like. And one of the big ones is the way they do that Apple Store, where they charge people 30%. Like, that seems so insane that they can get away with doing that. And I know...
I have some opinions about this.
I know you do. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, the iPhone is obviously one of the most important inventions probably of all time. Steve Jobs came out with it in 2007. I started Facebook in 2004. So he was working on the iPhone while I was getting started with Facebook. So I basically, one of the things that's been interesting in my 20 years of running the company is that I basically, like, the dominant platform out there is smartphones. On the one hand, it's been great for us because we are able to build these tools that everyone can have in their pocket. And there's like 4 billion people who use the different apps that we use. And it's like, I'm grateful that platform exists. But we didn't play any role in basically building that, those phones, because, I mean, it was kind of getting worked on while I was, still just trying to make the first website that I was making into a thing. And on the one hand, it's been great because, now pretty much everyone in the world has a phone, and that's a kind of, it enables pretty amazing things. But on the other hand, like you're saying, they have used that platform to put in place a lot of rules that I think feel arbitrary and feel like, they haven't really invented anything great in a while. And it's like Steve Jobs invented the iPhone, and now they're just kind of sitting on it 20 years later. And, they actually, I think year over year, I'm not even sure they're selling more iPhones at this point. I think like the sales might actually be declining. I think part of it is that each generation, it doesn't actually get that much better. So people are just taking longer to upgrade than they would before. So the number of sales, I think, has generally been flat to declining. So how are they making more money as a company? Well, they do it by basically like squeezing people. And like you're saying, like having this 30% tax on developers, by getting you to buy more peripherals and things that plug into it. They build stuff like AirPods, which are cool, but they've just thoroughly hamstrung the ability for anyone else to build something that can connect to the iPhone in the same way. So, I mean, there are a lot of other companies in the world that would be able to build like a very good earbud, but it just, Apple has a specific protocol that they've built into the iPhone that allows AirPods to basically connect to it, and it's just much more seamless because they've enabled that, but they don't let anyone else use the protocol. If they did, then there would probably be much better competitors to AirPods out there. And whenever you push on this, they get super touchy, and they basically wrap their defense of it in, well, if we let other companies plug into our thing, then that would violate people's privacy and security. It's like, no, just do a better job designing the protocol, right? I mean, we have, we basically asked them for the Ray-Ban Meta glasses that we built. Can we basically use the protocol they used for AirPod and some of these other things to just make it so we can as easily connect? So it's not like, a pain in the ass for people who want to use this. And I think one of the protocols that they've used, that they built, they basically didn't encrypt it, so it's like plain text. And they're like, well, we can't have you plug into it because it would be insecure. It's like, it's insecure because you didn't build any security into it, and then now you're using that as a justification for why only your product can connect in an easy way. It's like, the whole thing is kind of wild. And I'm pretty optimistic that just because they've been so off their game in terms of not really releasing many innovative things, that eventually, I mean, the good news about the tech industry is it's just super dynamic and things are constantly getting invented. And I think companies, if you just don't do a good job for like 10 years, eventually you're just going to get beat by someone. But I don't know. I mean, at some point I did this like back of the envelope calculation of like all the random rules that Apple puts out. If they didn't apply, like I think, it's like, and this is just meta. I think we like make twice as much profit or something. And that's just us. I mean, it's like all these small companies that like probably can't even exist because of the taxes that they put in place. So yeah, I think it's a big issue. I wish that they would just kind of get back to building good things and not having their ability to compete be connected to just like advantaging their stuff.